are 3 T's that are really holding you back in your business: credibility, visibility, and authority. And we're going to be talking about these here today because if we see here, we're in a trust deficit in our business, in our world, and in society today. So I wrote a 55-page white paper called The Authority Trust Gap. If you guys want that, it's on my website. You don't even need to opt in or anything. I've got a federal trademark on the phrase authority positioning portfolio. And very much like a financial portfolio of stocks, bonds, mutual funds, annuities, insurance, and all the different financial products in a portfolio, your authority positioning portfolio is everything that positions you as an expert, but it needs to be in one place so that people can experience it, not try to stumble all over and find it. So when you have authority, guess what? It optimizes your current marketing. One of the things that I love to be able to say is, yes, I provide a service and a package, and if you choose to work with me, wonderful. If not, you're going to learn some things here today that you can implement. But it's so cool that the other marketing programs out there that you're doing or considering doing, keep on doing them. Because when you are seen as an expert authority, all of those are going to work that much better. So many times people hear, do my thing, stop doing everything else. And I say, do my thing because everything else you're doing needs to be working that much better. JP Morgan Chase in 1901 approached Andrew Carnegie to buy his company, and I'll summarize it just by saying this. He bought it for $480 million on a handshake. In today's dollars, that's $10 billion. Now, I don't know about you, but I don't think that I would do a deal on a handshake for $4,800, even for a crane, but definitely not $480 million. And why is that? Trust. People these days do not trust each other, but we can build that trust with digital presence. I kind of think of it as like the digital handshake. And there's 3 questions that I want you to think about here. Number 1, are you tired of struggling to attract high net worth clients in a very competitive market? It doesn't matter who your target audience is, you've got competitors. It used to be your competitors were the next town over. Now they're 1 click away. You have to stand out. Are you tired of struggling to attract clients and people aren't responding to your marketing? Because you know why? We're busy and we're inundated with all kinds of media. How are you getting people to your events? Are you Facebook message? Are you direct mail? Are you calling? Are you? And the answer to that is yes, you should be, but it's hard. Number 3, are you fed up with prospects that distrust you just because they don't understand, and we've heard this already this weekend, they're confused about annuities. They just don't understand it. What was that stat yesterday? That annuities are at the bottom of the list of people understanding them. Because where prospects find you, they find your competition, and the trick and the problem is getting them to choose you. That's what it's all about. You can have the most amazing annuity, the most amazing presentation. You got to get them to notice you and choose you. So my work is working 100% with financial advisors. I've been doing this for 15 years. I focus specifically on one thing, helping you stand out from your competition, helping your prospects understand in a flash that you're the one that needs to be at least give you an at-bat. Meaning this, if someone Googled you right now, and if we could magically take your name and company and throw that up here, what would we see? Typically, we will see your website and your social media and maybe a directory listing. If that's all that your prospects are seeing, that's boring. That's what they see with your competitors. But if they Google you, your name and your company, and they see credibility, authority, trust, now at least they're going to attend that event. At least they're going to return that email. At least they're going to schedule that Zoom with you and probably show up. That's a huge piece. And a little bit about me, I've written several books. I've got several federal trademarks. I've been interviewed. And so this is my authority positioning portfolio. And I say that just to let you realize this is not something that's done overnight. I know that I have interviewed people, and when I spoke to Roy and interviewed him before, he has said to me that over the years he spent many dollars, and there's probably a couple zeros in the investment of dollars to get that branding done. And it doesn't have to be that hard, and it doesn't have to be that expensive. A couple little things about myself and my story. Yes, there's a foreclosure there, but it's not my foreclosure, but I experienced it. And this is important to know because it sets the stage for what drives me. When I was 12 years old, I was standing in the front yard of our house with a foreclosure sign, And my dad had lost our house to foreclosure, and here's mom, dad, me, my sister, standing in the yard looking at this sign. I still remember to this day, Ted Counts Auctions. They were auctioning off because the house went to foreclosure. That just seared in my mind the importance of proper money management. Because what happened was we then had to go live with my grandparents in a one-bedroom with a kitchenette, and I slept, I kid you not, in the workshop next to the lathe on a blow-up mattress. When I graduated college, I did what most people do, and I went out and spent $30,000 on credit cards, bought gold jewelry, leased a $500 Nissan GT, bought a house. My car payment was almost as much as my house payment. My minimum payments on my credit cards was more than that, and I was choked. I still remember sitting in the Chapter 13 bankruptcy office with, this will date me, a clipboard. A clipboard, filling out the papers with a pen. And I literally did not fill it out. I stopped because I'm like, can't do it. I'm moving on, and I determined to work my way out of it, and I did. I got a job in the mortgage industry working for JP Morgan Chase. I'm from Denver. I've lived there for 25 years. And I just knocked it out of the park. I was the #1 producer for home equity lines of credit. 2 years in a row, they did a documentary and trained other agents on doing what I do because I worked with financial professionals, providing home equity lines of credit to their clients so that their clients could tap into it and not tap into their portfolio, which affected, then guess what happened? 2007, 8, 9, 10, 11, we keep going, right? That financial crisis, my business disappeared. My family, literally, we had to go and get government assistance for health care because it just hit rock bottom. I have a wife and 4 kids. They were very young at the time. But I decided to get out of that industry, do my MBA in marketing, start my marketing firm. I got connected with some people that taught how to position yourself as an expert, wrote my first book on Amazon called The Prism Salvation, Powerful Relationships Integrating Social Media. And the story there is I started giving it out, and I was at a meeting, and this college professor took the book and said, hey, I'd like you to come speak to my business class. Did that. He offered me a $9,000 teaching contract. That led to a few other teaching contracts, and for the next 15 years, I still teach online for different schools because it's fun to be able to say in the college environment, look what I do in my day job. In my day job, this works because it's got academic background. And then finally, that all culminated into me putting together the program that I have, which is called Mass Authority. And it's where I build an authority positioning portfolio with podcast positioning, PR positioning, TV positioning, publishing, and all of that ties into that Google position so that when people look you up on Google, website, social media, your emails, they see in an instant that you're that trustworthy advisor. So imagine what it would feel like to be that person, the financial authority with premier tier status, because guess what? It takes you from being invisible to invincible, and it really does. And one of the aspects is a word that starts with a C, confidence. When you see yourself with all of these accolades and the ads featured on, and you Google yourself and you see the links and you see your TV interviews and you start sending it out to your clients and your prospects, all of a sudden now you start walking a little bit taller, like, yeah, I did that. And it helps in your communication. Really, really huge. And we've seen the research. We've mentioned this before, that the research says to be able to teach and educate people about annuities, because we already know that people are confused about them. You need to be able to teach and educate them at the level they're at so that they understand it. And many times, being able to do that is the medium that you teach them in. That could be a seminar, that could be online, and I'll give you a little tip here. I'm really big into, proving and research and methodology, and one of the reasons that authority positioning works is because it's a psychological. I know that that's what drives us. Well, back in the 50s, you can Google this later. Stanley Milgram was an actual researcher. He did this project at Yale University, and basically, he had someone in a white lab coat with a clipboard, and they were at Yale, so authority, and they had someone behind one of those two-way windows, and someone was strapped up to electrodes, and they would say, I want you to ask these questions. If they get it right, the green light goes on. If they get it wrong, buzz, and you get shocked. And what happened was they would go, okay, the guy gets shocked, and he acts like he's in pain, but the person's going, I can't do this, and they said, you must continue. And you can see here, this continued on, and guess what? They predicted 3.73% of the subject would continue, but 65% went through the whole series. No one got hurt, but this means the marketplace will blindly believe the words of an expert. And this is where anyone will tell you, and it's true, be cautious. Because if you are positioning yourself as an expert and you're telling people the wrong things for the wrong reason, your back pocket, that's wrong. So you have to be cautious and use ethics. This is another huge one that I think that is just spectacular, and if you take nothing else away from this, you need to remember this from this presentation. Canadian philosopher Marshall McLuhan wrote a book in 1967. If you find it online, you can probably dig around and find the PDF. It's a weird, strange book, but one of the teachings says, the way we send and receive information is more important than the information itself. So where your content is seen gives as much value, if not more value, than the actual content. So you can have the most amazing retirement annuity, 3-page PDF that when you read it, you're sold and you want to buy another annuity from your own self. You email that out to prospects, they ignore it. It's an email. It's a PDF. They glance at it. Put it on your website. That's nice. LinkedIn. Okay, that's cool. But the minute it goes up on a Spotify podcast that you were interviewed on, or a book, or mentioned you're interviewed about that on TV, now all of a sudden it's like, oh my word. Well, it's the same stuff that you had been saying, but people don't pay attention until it's elevated. Huge, huge aspect. Now, readers, right? Readers in the room, hopefully you've read Dr. Robert Cialdini's original book called Influence. If you've not, you need to get his book called Influence. This is his prequel called Persuasion. And he talks about how to persuade people because it is the ability to get someone receptive to your message even before they meet with you. That's huge. People's time is so tight. Your time is so tight that you can't waste it on someone with an AOL email address. And if anyone still uses AOL, I'm sorry, but we need to position ourselves as an expert authority way more than just being seen on, featured on. We need to have the full package. But when people see you before they even meet with you the first time as a trusted advisor, that pre-frames your expertise. It's a great quote from the Association of Psychological Science. We must be serious about our commitment to credibility. The result we'll produce in the long run will be better than incredible. It'll be credible. Incredible is sensationalistic, flash in the pan. Credible is rock solid. Huge. Now, probably one of the most amazing psychological marketing geniuses, John Cougar Mellencamp, says authority always wins. Now, if I really was prepared, I would have told Garrett, hey, cue up the authority song so that we could all hear that, and then it would be stuck in our mind for the whole rest of the day. But I'm not going to do that. Credibility and trust are currency, and like money, they can be created, traded, earned, borrowed, and lost. I could probably do an entire 1-hour presentation on this one slide alone, but suffice it to say that when you can focus on credibility and trust, your prospects will turn into clients and your clients will stay long-term clients and refer. You've probably all seen the recommendations to get a video camera and go live on YouTube and LinkedIn and Facebook and all these things, and there's nothing wrong with that. You should do that. You should have your own YouTube channel, yes. But I'm going to tell you a little secret here. There's an added level of trust and authority when you are interviewed because you're seen as someone, might have been, I forget who it was, but they used the phrase subject matter expert. You need to be that subject matter expert. And when you're interviewed asking your opinion about certain topics, Medicare, annuities, retirement, you're the expert. You're being interviewed about your thoughts and your views, and when you can be interviewed and then use that in marketing, it elevates your brand, elevates that trust. And so many times I say being seen as an expert helps you get new clients, and it does. But if you only stop there, you're missing the boat because you need to use your expertise and authority to teach and educate your current clients because guess what? That last annuity you closed, they had another advisor before they came to you. Why'd they leave them? You need to realize that your current clients here can be your best 20, 30-year clients buying over and over and referring over and over. And when you're seen as a trustworthy, credible advisor, it's going to help you close leads faster. If you buy leads, it's going to help you convert those quicker. If you do seminars, it's going to get people to register for the seminar. One of the speakers today talked about touch points. If you need to get someone to your seminar, you have to do certain things to get them to go to the landing page, to get them to register, to get them to actually show up, and then to get them to come to your office. And then, oh, by the way, you got to close the deal. Every step along that way, when you're seen as an expert authority, you're going to win. Like I mentioned here, this is my book. It's on Amazon right now for $49, hardcover, paperback $35, or you can scan this QR code or go to MikeSaunders360.com and get a free copy. If you want to do it now, that's great, but you just go to book, and then you can download the free electronic version or buy the paperback version, just pay the shipping. There are shifts that we need to think about. Number one is the authority platform. We need to realize that when we teach and educate people, they're going to trust us more so than trying to sell and push. The mindset of that trusted authority is being able to take empathy and understand that people are not where you are understanding annuities. And if you don't feel like you're where you should be, good. Do the Tony Robbins Kanai, constant, never-ending improvement. You're here. Continue to get your education. Authority is not something you do once, check the box, go yay. And once you're positioned as an authority, the cool thing is it integrates seamlessly into what you're already doing in your business. Everything that you do can be elevated with your email signature to your website, social media. All of your marketing will be elevated when they see you as an authority. We already mentioned we're working together, and so can you imagine having your headshot logo on this type of branding in your email signature that you can use on your social media and all of that? It just really is something that you don't need to say, oh, you should talk to me, because you're just emailing people or you're just putting it on your website and they're recognizing that for themselves. This is from a client that did one of my packages, and he posted it on Facebook and said he had people reaching out to him just from that post that picked up health insurance, health plan, accident plan, all because they were like, ooh, good job. Renee got 300% increase in book appointments from their last seminar they did online because she used these techniques and it positioned herself as an expert. And this one I love. Terry Register said he had a doctor worth $40 million. Google him. At his Fox TV News interview was page 1. He got the call. He told his CPA about it, and he got instant credibility. So this is the package that I do. You saw that. We focus on podcasting, press release, TV, any of it, all of it. The point is, you guys have to realize that the medium is the message. And with that, that's all that I have. Thank you so much for your attention.